What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my review on the Remette Knives RT-Aurora. Now, the Aurora is in the Lefty passaround group, and it is part of a little Remette package, including the Aurora as well as the Meteor. So if you guys are interested in this knife, this will be tomorrow's video, so definitely stay tuned to check that out. But the Aurora is a premium crossbar lock knife from Remette. And I was pretty excited to check this out because you guys have, might have heard it recently me talk about how I've been kind of on a crossbar lock kick recently. I know a lot of people tend to hate on them, and they are just kind of genuinely, like, I guess, hated on, for a lack of a better term, in the community. But recently I have been just kind of really enjoying them. The couple that I've had, or the couple that I have in the collection, the couple that I've checked out, via the passaround group that has been crossbar locks, I've really liked. And you guys know me, I'm just a really, I'm a big sucker for just nice, clean, simple designs. And that is what the Aurora is. Very, very clean, very simple, just a nice, classic, straightforward design. Good materials, good fit and finish, what you would have come to expect from Remette, in today's day of age. And all around just a really nice premium, variation and premium option when it comes to crossbar locks. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the review. I will leave a link down below to the Aurora if you guys are interested. I found where it's in stock on White Mountain Knives. So of course you guys can use someone's code, get you a little bit more money off, which we'll touch on that at the end of the video. But yeah. Starting off, we have a beautiful, just nice, simple drop point style blade. Remette there. You have dual thumb studs on both sides. They're kind of like oversized thumb studs, which is cool. It's an M390, nice thin blade stock. And behind the edge, you have obviously a crossbar lock with titanium frames. And then here you have kind of a purple haze, but it's like a shred carbon fiber, which is nice. And then of course you have a reversible milled titanium clip, so goes on brand with everything else being, premium. You get a premium clip there. A little bit of internal milling on both sides. You get a backspacer with a lanyard loop, and like I said, it's a simple design, but it's nice. It's elegant. It's a good size, which we'll touch on here right now, actually. So overall length is 7.09 inches with a blade length of 2.76, a blade thickness of 0.118, a handle length or a close length of 4.3, and it comes in weighing 3.4 ounces. So again, not a huge blade. It was honestly a little bit surprising whenever I unboxed it. I thought it was a smidge bigger, but you guys know me, I love my medium sized knives. So this fits, into what I like really, really well. So I think it's a good size. It's obviously a bit smaller. Give you guys a couple quick size comparisons here. Obviously we have the Para 3 from Spyderco, and then we have the TRM Neutron 2. And it is very, very similar in size to both of those knives. So right in that same size range, if you guys are, anyone out there is considering the Aurora, and you have familiarity with the Para 3 or the Neutron 2, you guys can see very, very similar, which is nice. Now the Aurora is there's also a budget version, which is cool. That's also on White Mountain Knives, but it's currently out of stock. And there is one other premium variation of this as well. It has a yellow and green sort of shred carbon fiber, satin, everything else, which is nice. So same knife, just different inlay. And then they have the G10 and 14C 28N version for the budget version, but like I said, that is currently out of stock. But it's really nice to see Remette taking popular designs and sort of, hitting both ends of the spectrum with budget and premium. Really, really nice. Like I said, it will be linked down below in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. Starting off with action, again, these thumb studs almost feel like they're a little bit oversized, which is nice for the flickability. One thing that I did notice, you guys can see right there, the crossbar lock is adjustable, so you're able to put, the spring in the different holes, whether you want a lighter detent or a stronger detent. And of course I say detent in air quotes because it's just a spring tension, but it makes it feel more of like a real, detent on the knife. From what I can see, This one is in the second to strongest, so I think it's perfect. I don't know if I'd want it any stronger than this. You get a really nice thumb flick, flies out of there, really nice, very snappy. Reverse flick is also really nice, and I feel like the reverse flick on crossbar locks are sometimes hard to nail because you have to be careful because the way you hold the knife, your pointer finger is always sort of resting on or near this side of the crossbar lock, especially if they're a little bit more, enlarged than these are, the bar themselves. And sometimes it slows it down, but this one just feels great. Really nice action. No blade play, locked up really nice and tight. Then of course on that drop, you do have a little bit of bar lock, a little bit of a stick, I guess, bar stick, lock stick, whatever you want to call it. But it's almost like a nice tactile feedback whenever you're going to close the knife. It's very fun to fidget with. Like I said, people tend to hate on the crossbar locks, but I love it. A good solid done crossbar lock is very fun to fidget with. Of course, you can open it like that, a little bit of wrist, but I tend to just utilize those thumb studs all day, every day. And then of course when you close, you just get that really nice free drop, a little bit of gravity and a little bit of an angle, and let gravity do its work, which is nice. So action is great on this, as I expected it to be. Really like it here on the Aurora. Next up is ergos. Now for a smaller knife, I can still get all 4 fingers on this thing very easily, very comfortably. You have a nice bit of jimping up top here for your thumb when you're in the saber grip. Pocket clip is obviously a milled clip, so it's going to be nice and flat. Not really much of a poke down here, which is nice, so it just fits and conforms into your hand really well. That is awesome how that feels. Then of course you have this choke up point here, and this is something interesting that I have not seen a lot of other knife companies do, is they add a lot of jimping down here, which I really like. I feel like it's not as necessary on a knife like this, that I feel like is a little bit more classy carry. Like I think this could stand up to some rough and tough use your shit type of conditions, but I feel like that this is just kind of a more of a elegantly crafted knife, a little bit more of a higher end date night, not necessarily like worried about jimping like that, but I do like that they put it on there, because when you choke up, I can get obviously even up on there more, and it just is nice because it gives you that little bit of leverage there on your pointer finger, and it just locks you in, so your thumb can land back here on the jimping. It can land anywhere as far as here. I mean, anywhere here along the blade works really nice, and that jimping is just, it's different, but I feel like it's just such a simple add that I think more companies maybe should look into, because it just gives you that little bit extra, gripability and strength when you're choking up on the knife to, possibly doing extra hard push cuts through cardboard, or whatever you may be cutting through. It just gives you that extra bit of rigidity and a little bit extra, comfort in knowing the knife's not going to slip out of your hands. So really like that. The titanium is slightly contoured, and chamfered in all the right areas, which is nice. The inlays, I mean, you can feel a little bit of a seam there, but they're nice. The transitions are nice, no issues there whatsoever. Lightweight, nice clean design, simple lines. You pretty much have a straight line the whole way back here, straight line here, a little bit of a finger indentation, and then of course the choil there. So again, no complaints at all there with the ergos. It's very comfortable, and that is just a huge reason, and I've preached this before and I'll preach it again. To me, that is such a huge reason why I just like clean and simple designs, because 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10, it's going to be a comfortable knife to hold, a comfortable knife to use, a comfortable knife to fidget with. And to me, that's such an important part of it. So really like, how this feels in hand, and just a simple sort of hidden in plain sight sort of upgrade that you wouldn't expect. But like when you get it in hand, you're like, man, I'm glad they did that. So really like that there on the Aurora. And next up, we're going to talk about carry. Let me get my friend's Hank here. The Hanks I normally use are in the office that my wife is currently working in, so I had to go find this in one of my sling bags. You guys can see it's been kind of folded up and stuff. But Friends is like a top 5 favorite show for both me and my wife of all time. So I got this from Gone Deck EDC like 3-4 years ago. You guys can see they don't use that logo anymore, so that's how you know that this is an older Hank, but still really like this one. So grab the knife, stick it in there. And as far as milled titanium clips go, this one is fantastic. I love it because it's, you know, pretty much as far as you can go here into sort of the triangular part of the butt of the knife. It sits in there really nice. It's just a clean clip. Sometimes titanium clips can be kind of funky, and I'm just not the biggest fan of them. This one is just a nice clean clip. It does its job well. It looks good. So really big fan of that, but carries nice and relatively deep down in the pocket as far as, you know, milled clips go. But sits down in the pocket. You have no flipper tab, no jimping, nothing like that to possibly catch your hands on. It's about 3.5 ounces, so, you know, relatively lightweight, specifically, you know, for a titanium, you know, not a frame lock, but a titanium framed knife, titanium scaled knife. Reversible, obviously, which is, you know, quintessential for crossbar lock, you know, ambidextrous clip, ambidextrous lock. And yeah, I mean, nothing really crazy to write home about. It just, the clip functions really well, it looks good, and it carries well. So nothing to really, again, write home about, but it just, everything that it does it well. So that leads me to my final category, which is price point / would I recommend this knife. So the price point on the Remette RT-Aurora for the premium version is $205.90 on White Mountain Knives, but if you use someone's code like Lefty10 or someone else's code, you are able to get probably what, 20 bucks off, 25 bucks off. So you're going to be getting down 180-ish, somewhere in there, which is really nice. I think 205 is a fine price to pay for this. You know, I don't think 205 is necessarily, you know, like an amazing value, but I think it's very, very, you know, fair for what you're getting. M390, beautiful titanium scales, purple shred carbon fiber, great lock, great action, great ergos, great carryability, just a really nice package all put together. And I was pleased with it. This was a knife that I, you know, was really looking forward to checking out, and it definitely lived up to the expectations of what I expected of it. So, I mean, can I recommend it? Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite from Remette so far. What was the last one I checked out? The, oh, it's going to bug me. Let me look back here on my YouTube, because I think I spoke as that one being my favorite, and this one is probably up there as well. Where are we at? I just did my full review not too long ago about it. The Kestrel. I really like the Kestrel. That was a good knife. So this one and the Kestrel are probably my top two. But if you're a fan of crossbar locks and you like, you know, you don't need a huge knife, I think this could be a great option for anyone looking for a premium version that's not going to break the bank, but give you really nice materials and just a nice elegant silhouette. And again, this is a knife that I feel like does a lot of things really well. So very, very pleased with the Aurora. Would love to check out the budget version in the future, just to compare the two. But I was, you know, I would expect that I would like that one as much as this one as well. So maybe in the future I'll check that one out. But yeah, guys, this was my full review on the Remette Knives Aurora. Please leave a comment down below what your guys' thoughts are on it. You know, what's your thoughts on crossbar locks in general? Are you in, you know, the side that hates them? Are you on the side that loves them? Or maybe you're in the middle. You could take them or leave them. As always, guys, I love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. But I'm going to wrap this up now. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, day, night, whenever you're watching this. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.